One of the things about sustainability as such is the use of tools which go on for years and years and years. This little shovel, believe it or not, is one of my favourite tools. Its handle's broken several times because I do too much work with it. But basically, because it's such a small one, it's very useful for picking up bulky materials like gravel and so on from the top of a big bag. And if I get any gravel, that's what it's delivered in. But the other day, the handle broke once again because it wasn't quite big enough at this point, and I used the same thing. It's quite a useful skill to be able to adjust the length of the handle or put in a new one. I'll show you what I do with that in a few minutes. But one of the things about country living and about being self-sufficient is the fact that you find when cutting down in the winter, when cutting trees, you sometimes come across pieces of wood like that. That's a piece of ash. It's got a very slight bend on it, which is very useful for certain tools. And for long-handled tools, I've set aside this one. It's been in the woodshed for about 2 years now, so sooner or later that'll come in handy to repair a tool. This is one which I have used sometimes. It's an old-fashioned cultivator, which you can't get this type nowadays. But this is a hazel handle, which has lasted now for at least 10 years, and hopefully will go on a bit longer. So being able to repair things is also very useful. This is a double-sided hedging billhook. One of the things that you can't get easily in most of the shops is an even symmetrical shape to a handle. And I'm a relatively short person, so I don't want too long a handle on this particular tool because I'm very often using it in the winter in confined spaces. So a fairly short handle is very useful. And because it's double-sided, normally if you use an axe handle it will turn in one direction or the other, and therefore it's more difficult to work the tool on one side than the other. So this is another piece of ash which was made out of something similar to that some years ago, and as you may notice there, it's got a widened bit at the end so that when I'm gripping it, especially with wet hands in the winter, it's very easy to grip and it will not come up away and swing away if it's wet. This is a little hook, snippers, call them what you like, large scale secateurs, medium sized heavy duty snips. One handle broke, a nice piece of hazel made the other handle. What we need to do though is to master one skill which is particularly useful. There are some rivets in there which hold it in place on each side, and to make a rivet you need to have a soft metal. What I use mostly for, not that particular one, that is a small nail, but mostly I use a 6-inch nail to make rivets. You can buy them, they come available like that, designed specially for this particular job, but I find that a 6-inch nail is as good if not better. Now from this tool here, which I'm in the process of repairing, that is the old rivet which used to be through there. In order to get the remains of the wood out of that part there, I used a hacksaw and cut this end off, but I kept this to one side because what I need to do is to make a new rivet which goes through there. So I need to now drill that out. I've, as you can see, shaped this part so that it'll go into that handle. I need to make a rivet which goes through there and comes just out the other side, but by keeping the old one it'll give you the correct length, and that's critical to getting the peening process right. Now, as you can see, I've got a small anvil here mounted on a piece of wood, which gives it a little tiny bit of movement, and that's on top of my main anvil down at the bottom. So to peen this now and make it a tight fitting, that little bit which is up there, you put the far end straight down on there, and then you use a little cross peen hammer like this to start spreading it out. You just keep moving it very gently, turn it, move it a little bit more, and once you've started it, go to the heavy hammer like this, which will do the job much more quickly. Move a little bit all the time, all the way around. Keep the hammer moving all the way around the edge, and a few strokes in the center. Then go round the edge once more. Then you can finish it with a medium weight hammer, just checking that little bits are all the way around, and there you are, job done. Nails are a soft metal, screws are very hard metal. They need to be hardened, especially for their job, but a nail is a better thing. There we are. That job is now perfectly satisfactory. You may remember a couple of weeks ago I showed you this, which is an old trailer stub, which is going to make the bearing for a lightweight water wheel. Progress so far is stripping it down, painting it, making sure that it's rust proof to a certain extent. I've now made a piece of timber. This is a piece of plywood, 19mm exterior grade plywood. That is going to fit into there and be bolted on. Now, plywood is extremely strong in all directions, and this will form the hub for the spokes. So the next update will be showing you the spokes made for the water wheel when this has been bolted on. Thank you.